Welcome back to Online Darts, everyone. We're here at the Fed in Newcastle. Chris, nice local exhibition for you, and you've just been out there. What an atmosphere.
Yeah, it's always great to play any kind of circumstances at home with a home crowd, and yeah, it's great to be here.
Look, I know it's only an exhibition, but the match practice is like incredible. You've got obviously Gezi, Simon, Fallon, and all the locals here as well. Like, invaluable match practice.
Yeah, the standard's great. Obviously, I know quite a lot of the local lads out there as well. So, which I played against a good lad in Brad who actually plays for the same Super League team as us. So it was a bit rivalry. He beat us in one of the local competitions. So it's 1-1 now. So I'm happy to get that win. And yeah, it's a great standard to use it as match practice.
Do you still get that buzz playing local stuff then?
Yeah, I do. Honestly, I get such a buzz, as you could see by the homecoming at the Premier League as well, which was unbelievable. And just coming to places like this with a home crowd, it sets you up, and you want to perform in front of them, and you don't want to let them down. And yeah, it's just great to have that backing. It's
been a while since we've spoken to you. How are things in general with yourself? Going along well?
Yeah, I'm playing well. I'm confident. I'm going into the games well, like knowing that I can win again. And yeah, it's kind of push past the World Championships, and I'm just forgetting about that now. And obviously the disappointment of not being in the Premier League. But you put the work in and to try and get back to where I think I should be. And hopefully the practice that I'm putting in is going to start and pay off. A final on the Pro Tour a couple of months ago, or last month, and yeah, I'm starting to play some good darts again, so I'm going to have a good place.
Can you put your finger on why you dipped off slightly at spells last year?
On the floor, I can put that down to the Premier League. The practice was going well, but going into big games, big arenas, and then walking into Barnsley and that, and it was hard to get up for it. I'm not going to lie, it was hard to get up for it. But they're the ones that you should be getting up for, and they're the ones that you should be putting 100% in, because that's going to get you into these TV competitions and the European tours. And yeah, it was just totally down to obviously the travelling and stuff. And like I said, I'm 100% committed, and I'm looking to be back there next year.
It's really interesting listening to you talk about that. What's that feeling like, going from playing, say, in front of 15,000 at Leeds or whatever, to a Pro Tour? Is that almost demoralising in one respect? But like you said, it's the bread and butter. So how do you get your head around that conundrum?
Yeah, it is hard, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, you've got a target on your back. Everybody wants to be where you are, and that's one thing I had to get on with, and I had to produce those darts on the floor, which I wasn't doing so. And I think it was just a matter of fact that I couldn't get up for it as much as you would get up for a TV event, and playing all them TV competitions every week. It's hard work, but like I said, that's where I want to be, and I'm putting the hard work in behind the scenes, and hopefully I'll get there again. And my floor game's picked up now as well, which is a big improvement for me.
Back into obviously the top 16 in the world, that was the thing that was missing off the bucket list. How does it feel to be now established in that group?
Yeah, obviously it's a great feeling to be there. I just want to stay there now and don't want to drop out. Obviously it's worked good in the favour of the European tour system now, but obviously I know you feel for the rest of them, but they wanted a change, and it's benefited me, myself, and a few of the other lads, the likes of Nathan and that, who wouldn't have been there, would have to go to the qualifiers. So yeah, it swings and roundabouts, and you can't complain too much. You've just got to get on with it.
I was going to ask you about that. Obviously, it was a massive rule change when it came in. What was that news like when you were told that was the way it was going? Was it a relief that you didn't have to go for these qualifiers?
Yeah, obviously it's nice to be in them all. Obviously, you still got to work hard to stay there, because if I drop out that top 16, I'm not in the next bit by much. So you still got to work hard regardless whether you're in there on merit or not. So yeah, a lot of them weren't happy with the decision, but like I said, you've got to work hard to get there as well, and I'm just trying to work hard at the hardest I can do. You
touched on obviously the disappointment of not being in this year's Premier League. Did you feel that you'd done enough to get another shot?
To be honest, I thought I was pretty consistent on TV, and I think in the past that's what they said, you've got to do it on TV, and I thought I was pretty consistent on TV, and I was a little disappointed, but I felt if I had won that game against Rob, then I had one foot in. But I done nothing wrong in that game. I didn't drift away.
No.
I just stayed at that 100 average mark all game, and he came back brilliant. He did play well. He turned a 90 average into some like 110 or something in the space of the 4 sets. And hey, you've got to take your hats off to the way he played and performed there, because there was a lot of pressure on me trying to, because I've been in that position against Rob before, and I dealt with it, but it just didn't happen. I was a millimetre away from the bullseye, and it would have been a whole different story. I probably would have been in the Premier League, and you know, you never know, mate. It's just one of those. But I'm knuckling down. I'm putting the work in now, and hopefully I can get myself back there. Is
the next step the top 10 for you? Now you're in that 16. Is now it to go and get into that top 10?
Yeah, you've got to push set yourself goals. Obviously, the top 16. I don't want to drop out. That's probably one of my biggest goals. So, it's took me a while to get in that top 16 now. So it's baby steps. As long as I can stay in the top 16, then I'll be happy.
Talk about a stable mate of yours, obviously Luke Littler at the moment is the name on everyone's lips, and rightfully so, what he's doing. What have you made of his rise? Because he's gone from schoolboy to global superstar in the blink of an eye. Yeah,
it's unbelievable what he's done. It's fantastic for the sport. He's brought all the eyes back to the sport, and hey, you've got to give a lad credit. When people were saying, oh, Chris isn't in the Premier League, and Luke saying, how can they do that? It was a no-brainer. They had to put Luke in. What he brought to the sport, honestly, it was unbelievable. And you've just seen a change in the lad. He's confident on that stage. He's a shy little kid. You know, people forget how old he is, and you've got to put that to the side. Once he's up on that stage, that's where he's confident. That's where it all comes out, and he's a confident young lad. And it's good to see him going up there, because a lot of people aren't as confident as he is, and it's hard getting a conversation in him backstage, because he's still that shy kid. And yeah, it's great to see. Obviously, being in the same stable as him, and the likes of him and Nathan, it's great, because they're at the top again, and that's where I want to be. So it's that little bit of competition, and hopefully I can be mixing it with them guys again next year.
What's the banter like between the three of you?
Yeah, to be honest, I've got nothing to say on them two now, so they're just doing it up. Obviously, they're battering the living daylight out of each other on that dartboard, and I've watched the last few games with them too, and it is good. It's the professionalism of Nathan as well, when taking the defeats in that. It is good to see, but it's good to see Nathan doing what he's doing as well. He wasn't in a good place a couple of months ago. He was doubting his game, and he's just turned things around, and yeah, he's starting to perform now, and looks like he's enjoying it a lot more as well, which always helps.
What would be a good 2024 for Chris Dobey?
Just to start winning titles again. I gave myself the goal, a target of doing well on the floor, picking my floor game up, and we've got like this little side thing with the lads. If you lose, you know, you put in a tin, you put a tenner in the tin, and then it's just you get some food and that at the end of the season, and I'm the only one not to lose a first round yet, so that shows you where my game's at, and my floor game's improved a lot from the last couple of years. And yeah, it's always good to be surrounded by them lads as well, because regardless, you're there for one thing in yourself, but they give you that little boost as well to see you do well as well.
One thing that we have noticed creep into your personality is you're quite harsh on yourself on social media. Is that one thing perhaps you've got to lighten up on yourself and not give yourself such a hard time?
Yeah, it's just, if I feel like I've bottled a game, I'm not gonna lie. I'll come out and admit that I bottled it. But at the World Championships, obviously, I have that banter on social media with a few fans and stuff. But like I say, I take it like a man, and you've got to take it on the chin. But when I know what I've done wrong, I'm the first to admit that, and I think that's where a lot of people appreciate who I am more. I'm just a genuine guy, want to do well, and the good thing, I still play local leagues as well, and this is one of the reasons why I play local leagues. So if I go into Super League on a Thursday night after a weekend on the Pro Tour and say I played bad, they'll say, oh, you were terrible there, you done this, you done that, and that's what you want. You don't want to say, oh, you don't want to hear someone saying, oh, you were unlucky there, you done this, or you had done that. But you want to be told straight, and and that's why I still play local leagues, because they bring me back down to reality, and they're not afraid to tell me where I went wrong.
Chris,
so,
absolute pleasure talking to you, mate, here in Newcastle. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.